everyone, Katie here with Backwoods Pursuits, and welcome back to my channel. Before we get started on this video, I got to draw your attention to the cute dog underneath the table. That's Kaya. She's been with me for nearly 15 years now, and she came out here and wanted to be in the video, so who can argue with a 15-year-old dog? Definitely not me. Now, she's a really good girl, and just at least had to draw your attention to that real quick. But let's get into it. As you can see, I have some of my hunting clothing and gear out here set out before me, and that's because hunting seasons are right around the corner here in Pennsylvania. The statewide archery opener is just under 2 weeks away now, and I thought it'd be appropriate to put together a little video for you guys and show you how I like to prepare and store my hunting clothing and gear during the seasons, and also wanted to show you guys how I like to make my own cover scent with natural materials that I gather up from around my tree stands in the different areas that I hunt. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hike back into one of my hunting areas. As you can see, here's one of my tree stands behind me, and I got a 5-gallon bucket I started filling up with the natural materials from right around this area. I also brought with me a pair of hand snips. These come in handy for cutting up twigs into smaller pieces so they'll fit into your bucket. That's basically it for the first step of this homemade cover scent. You just want to get into the areas that you're hunting and collect up a variety of the natural materials from that area. And I'm collecting a 5-gallon bucket worth because I am going to make some cover scent, and I'm also going to dry out some of this material and store my clothes in it, which I'll show you later. But just collect a couple pounds, whatever you know, there's no real recipe to it. Just get a variety of the natural material in that area, because I'm telling you what, if you give this a try, you're going to be happy with it. I found personally it works better than anything I've bought in any kind of cover scents I've bought in the stores, just for the fact that it's specifically geared to the area that you're hunting in. I'm not saying that the stuff you buy in the store doesn't work, because it definitely does. I've used it and it works, and anything's better than nothing. I just think this, for me, works better because it's specific to those areas that I'm hunting in. And, you know, ultimately we're never going to 100% fool a white-tailed deer's nose or most animals. So the next best thing you can do also, besides for the cover scent, is to play the wind. You know, don't sit in a stand that has bad wind for that specific day. It's not worth it. It's not worth bumping out a big buck or a deer. So you got to play the wind. You know, a little bit of everything. Hopefully you bring it all together and have a successful season. But I'm going to stop talking, fill up the rest of this bucket, get home, and show you the next couple steps. So let's go. All right, I'm back home. I got a bucket full of goodies, all kinds of good natural vegetation and stuff that grows around the areas that I hunt. A little variety of everything. So I got this pot nice and cleaned out. Make sure the pot that you're going to cook this down in is good and rinsed out. Doesn't have any residue from anything else, and that includes soap too. So make sure it's rinsed out well. So I'm going to start putting the stuff in here. Got a little bit of everything, like I said, lots of ferns, some ground pine, even got some goldenrod and some asters putting in there, some birch and beech twigs, maple twigs and leaves and sticks, dead leaves, lots of ferns, a little bit of everything, some sumac, a couple apple leaves. Like I said, just a little bit of everything. And you want to put it in there. You don't need to really pack it in tight, though, because you don't want to pack it, but fill it up. Yeah, looks pretty good, and I'll get some water next. And like I said, I have about half of this stuff left, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that here in a little bit. But first, onto the water. I like to use spring water. You can use spring or distilled water, I think would be the best for this. I mean, tap water's probably all right too, but you never know what other kind of stuff could be in there, so I like to use spring water. So go ahead and fill this up. There we go. All right, I got the grill fired up. I like to do this outside. Kind of recommend you do the same. It is going to let off some, you know, kind of strong smells. I mean, that's the whole idea of making a cover scent. We want it to smell like what is in here, which is all kinds of goodies, leaves and ferns and sticks and all that kind of stuff. So it will smell like that. So I like to do it outside, although I actually like the smell of it. Kind of smells good to me. But that's about it. Put it on there. I'm going to put a lid on it because I don't want any of the oils of those stuff, all the vegetation in there. I don't want the oils escaping, so I am going to keep a lid on it, and I'll get it to a boil, and I'll get back to you in a little bit. All right, this is the other half of the natural vegetation that I collected, and while the cover scent is coming to a boil, I'm going to dump this into a cardboard box and let that dry for a couple days. Every couple days, just kind of fluff it up like that. And once this stuff dries, I'm going to put it in the bottom of a container that I'm going to store my hunting clothes in during the season. And that way, my clothes will be in that container with this. It'll smell just like my cover scent. And it really works. It works great. So, very simple method. You just got to let this stuff dry out first for a couple days, because you don't want to store your hunting clothes in it right now because there's still moisture in it, and that moisture will leach out into your hunting clothes and they could get moldy. So make sure you dry it out for a couple days. I think the cardboard box method works pretty good, but a big paper bag would work also. And I'm going to get back and check on our cover scent and see if that's come to a boil yet. All right, our cover scent has come to a boil here. And I just brought it to a nice boil and then turned it right down, because you don't want to boil it hard for too long. You don't want to burn it, and then you'll have a burnt smell, and that will not be good. They will catch on to that. So just want to bring it to a boil. It's kind of like making a tea. Bring it to a boil and then just kind of turn it way down or even off and let it steep with the lid on for about 10 or 15 minutes. And oh my gosh, that smells good to me. So good. All right, get back to you. All right, we're back out here with the hunting clothes, and while the cover scent is steeping, I wanted to show you the stuff that I put in the cardboard box. Once that dries, this is what it's going to look like. I gathered this stuff a couple days ago just to show you what it looks like when it's dry. It's kind of crumbly. You can hear it dry. There's no moisture in it. So this is when it's ready now, just a couple days in that cardboard box. I mean, this was only in there 3 days, I think. Then what I do is I take a bunch of this stuff and I stick it in the bottom of the container that I store my hunting gear in during the season. And I use this metal garbage can. I've been using it for a couple years. I like to use the metal garbage can versus plastic, because I think plastic just has that plastic, I don't know, that plastic smell that I don't care for, and seems to be strong. I know there is containers, different kinds of scent-free containers and plastic things and different stuff out there that you can use, but this is what I use. And I did buy this garbage can new for this purpose. It never had garbage or anything else in it. But so I stick that stuff in the bottom, and I stick all my hunting clothes in there, and everything smells just like the cover scent that we're working on. So I think it's a great method. It works well. I put all my, also besides my clothing, I put my hunting gear. I have another container, put all my hunting gear in there too. All that stuff, anything you're taking out with you, put in these containers with some of that dried up vegetation that you gathered, and it makes another nice extra, you know, just another extra cover scent for your clothing. So I'm going to get these clothes off the line, get them in here and sealed up, and we'll go strain our mixture. All right, we got our liquid here from our cover scent, the stuff that we, from the vegetation we boiled down. And I took out the bigger pieces of vegetation using these tongs and got rid of that stuff to get it ready for straining into this 5-gallon plastic bucket here. I have a strainer with some paper towels, rubber band around it. One thing to note is I let this cool down, completely cool down before I strain it, especially because I'm straining it into a plastic bucket. And if you strain it in there while it's hot, you're going to leach out some of that plastic smell, and it's going to get into your cover scent and kind of defeat the purpose. So if you are straining into something that's plastic, I definitely recommend letting your liquid cool all the way down first. So let's get this strained. And there we go. That is it. It smells amazing. I'm gonna let it finish straining, and I will get it put into some glass jars and show you what that looks like. And that's basically it. All right, guys, this is it. Got it all strained off and got it jarred up. I like to store it in glass jars because if you haven't noticed yet, I am not a big fan of plastic or the smell of plastic. So I store it in glass jars and store it in a dark, cool place somewhere like a basement. And when I'm ready to use it, I'll put it into a spray bottle and stick one in my hunting backpack and one in one of my vehicles, and have that ready to go every time I head out into the field. So that's basically it. You can see here it has a nice color to it. Almost looks like kind of like tea, and has a nice smell to me, but I'm a little strange with that. Very woodsy smell. I can smell the hemlock and birch and different things. You can kind of, I don't know how good you'll be able to see on the camera there, but it's got a little bit of like a oil sheen to the top of it there. It's all the nice oils that came off of the vegetation that we put in there. So the stuff works awesome. Give it a try if you like this video. It's very easy to make and it's free, so you can't really go wrong with that. And like I said, I just love it because it's so specific to the areas that I'm hunting in. And I think that makes a big difference. But again, nothing is going to 100% fool a deer's nose, or most animals for that matter. So the other most important thing, I think, besides the cover scent and stuff, that cat, besides the cover scent and stuff, is to play the wind. You got to play the wind for sure. But that's basically it for this video. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comment section below. And that's all I got for you today, guys. So this is Katie with Backwoods Pursuits, and have a great day.